talking about when you were a kid trying to get in the door.
20 years ago.
Oh, okay. You were just a kid then. I don't have a plan for today. I just thought we'd just let you all talk. And I would like to be able to stretch this out to get to all of you, but I don't think I can. So you may have to come forward or, one or the other. Tell me a little bit more about the history of this building that you were sharing earlier, if you wouldn't mind.
This old man here knows more about it than I do.
Okay, well, whomever. Mr. Brown, could you tell us, share a little bit of history about this particular building?
Well, I've got an interesting story on it.
Okay, tell us about that.
My mother, when we had no high school in McLeod, so she went to the academy up in Jefferson College, which is a brethren school. Church, that's where she met Dad. And the sons say that's what they have those institutions for, the church colleges, so the kids can meet and marry, and it ain't a bad idea. When her Papa Shelby called him, Grandpa said she could go. He said, well, you'll need a trunk. And he said, Wes Reynolds got some in this store, which sat in McLeod across the street south of where the grocery store is. It sat on that corner. And she bought a trunk in the upstairs of this room, go to college. I've heard her say she ended up in McPherson on the first day of this century. Now, whether that was 1900 or 1901, I don't know. Probably 1900. First day of this century. And, I believe my daughter has that trunk now.
So, Betty, do you know how old this building is?
I'm not a historian.
Okay.
She grew up down in Grantville anyway. She
Does anybody here know how old this building is?
But it was there.
Certainly over 100 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was built in the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
I would say so. It wasn't the first store building in McLeod, but it was one of the first. Wes Reynolds had started in Springdale. I'm at that stage in life when I can't always, I haven't forgotten the way, I just can't find it.
Sure you do, yeah. It's just covered up with a lot. Yeah.
But he moved over then and built a store in McLeod, and I pulled over there.
Okay. Let's quickly see how many communities we have represented. We have McLeod and Oskaloosa, Grantville. How about Valley Falls? Meriden? Perry?
man over there that's about to go to sleep. He's over.
Ozaki, all right. Any communities I did not mention that, because there are some little ones tucked away. Winchester, absolutely. Okay. Nortonville, didn't leave those out. All right, well, we should get a pretty good idea of the history of the county today, this personal history. That's what this is about, kind of just sharing memories, I believe, right? And getting some things recorded, at least in our minds, and on videotape today. So Smiley, you're all going to be on videotape.
Actually, McLeod is probably the youngest town
Really?
in the county. It was built when the railroad came through in 1880 or 81. McLeod was started. Oskaloosa was here in the 1850s.
So let's see. How about Grantville?
1854.
1854 was it when it was established? And you said your great grandfather laid out the town. Wow. So we have the royalty of Grantville. What stories do you have about those early days of Grantville?
But I don't think.
Okay, she's going to get
It really was a nice town. I love it. I've been there 72 years now, so I feel like I'm, pretty well familiar with it. But I had a cute story I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
I know they can hear. All right. Now can you hear me? Up closer.
Hold it back down to your chin. There you go. Now.
And my great-grandfather and his brother came from New Jersey to venture to see what they could find, and they decided to buy a lot of land from the Indians. And they bought quite a few, well, the whole Granville area. I don't know if you all are familiar with it or not, but they had decided to lay it out. They all liked the land, and they decided they wanted to have horses and cattle, so they divided up different fields and things that they wanted to have. And grandfather had the largest section of it, and he put a row of trees in the square right by the now where our train tracks are, and they were beautiful, gorgeous trees. They were spruce, and there was a whole rectangle. And that was where he was going to put his house. Well, he gave the right-of-way to the railroad, and they decided that was just a little too close to the railroad tracks. So he moved south, and our farm lays out behind the little town of Granville. And we have a lovely Methodist church and had a great school for many years, and it was real, to be in some nice place to live. I wanted to tell you a cute story. I don't know if any of you remember Dean
Yes, sir.
Burke.
What's his name? Give us your name.
Mary Jane Tucker. And I was named for my great-grandmother, Mary Jane. And Dean Burrows lives south of me. His farm lays out exactly the whole length of mine to the south. And he said his father had hogs, and the price went down to 9 cents a pound, so he thought he'd get rid of those. So they decided to herd them over to the railroad track where there was a pen for the cattle and horses to be loaded out. And he said they got to the railroad track and they couldn't get them to go across. But they loved the coal that was on the siding, and they were just chomping it like ice cream, he said. Well, they waited till the section men all came home from work, which was like 3:34 in the afternoon, and they took pity on them, decided that they'd help them get their hogs across the railroad track, so they picked them up by their hind feet and herded them across like a wheelbarrow. And Dean thought that was real good. He was only 7 years old, and he thought that was pretty good thing. And they went back in the afternoon, or in that evening, and put pigs on the train, in the boxcar, and got in the caboose and rode to Kansas City, and stayed all night in the Drover's Hotel by the stockyards. And then they went so the next morning, then he was all excited. He found a light bulb, by the way. He found a light bulb in the drawer. And he didn't know what it was. He didn't have lights in his house, so he wasn't familiar with all those new modern things. So anyway, he put that in his suitcase to take home for his souvenir of the trip. But anyway, they went down and he got to watch them sell. The drovers go into the pens and sort the cattle and count them and the pigs and everything, and then they would go on to the next pen. But he said that was his big adventure at 7 years old, and he's now 90. He'll be 91 on the 11th. So that was one of his cute little stories that he told. He tells me all kinds of stories all the time. I often wish I had my recorder right handy so I wouldn't miss up on it. But anyway, so much else. Great. Thanks.
Anybody else have a story about their town? Early memory, first school memory, first?
I don't remember anything except when I come to school cellar, when the grandparents went when I did. corners, you can't see the sun.
Oh, the cornfields.
But way after midnight, when we finally found where we was at,
Oh,
we got
really?
home.
About how old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah.
Oh, probably maybe 7.
Did you come into Oskaloosa for Old Settlers every summer? Was that a big deal? Is that,
I missed a few, but this is the greatest one they've ever had out here now.
is it? What? Is every year the greatest one?
Well, no. They used to have some great ones, you know, but they're improving a little. But in later years, we didn't come out much because why would they?
Now, it was kind of a festival after the harvest, wasn't it? So that all the farmers could come in?
Well, yeah, it used to be a little later in the year, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Because everybody was thrashing this time of the year or getting over that. My grandfather used to run a thrashing rig.
Yeah. So coming into town for the festival was kind of an indication. Some of the hard work was over. You could relax a little bit and have some fun. Mr. Crowder, did y'all come over from the plow?
Yeah,
Did you?
usually.
There's another woman here from the plow. Mrs. Snook, do you remember early days in the plow?
Oh,
I'm a newcomer.
You're a
I've
newcomer.
only been in
She's
here
a
4 years.
newcomer.
Only for 54 years? Oh, well, then.
I wasn't born in the plow.
You were born in the plow?
No, but I was born over around Springdale,
Uh-huh.
Lebanon County. But I can remember coming to the plow in a lumber wagon and horse and buggy. We didn't have cars.
You come into shop?
We
did
did
the
the
little
shop.
way?
And they had it where my son's had his office. That was a clothing store.
And then, is that Harker's?
That's a Harker
Uh-huh.
Insurance, and that was a clothing store.
Oh,
And we would come in there and buy our the dresses and the shoes.
How often did you come to town?
Well, we didn't come very often just because when kids, we didn't get to come, but the folks, they'd come and get stuff for us, you see.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want to be bothered with that. But anyway, and then I can remember, and John probably, when they had picnics up where the schoolhouse is, John.
Community picnics? The community picnics?
Yeah, well,
Everybody
yeah,
comes?
I like that, quite a picnic up there, and we would come and, we didn't have a car then, that went back then. And I can remember the West Reynolds, this old store, you know, when it was down in the West Reynolds, run. And we used to go to Springdale, when he run the store in Springdale, I can remember that.
And then so when you opened the store in the plow, you just,
Then they sold out and come to, and I think it was one of my uncles or one of my cousins bought a store in Springdale and run it after he was back. But I've been around about first, my daughter is, she's 79.
and you were born in the plow?
Now we have gone,
Yeah.
lived on a farm, north and west.
What's been some of the biggest changes in the plow that you've noticed in your lifetime?
Well, they have tore down some of the buildings that used to be on the old buildings and it hasn't changed really a whole lot.
Still a nice little.
Well, we're thankful.
You bet. You bet.
We have a grocery store and some of the buildings are empty, but they didn't have a grocery store for quite some time. No.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a nice one, yeah.
And then we have our nice churches and
Uh-huh.
that. John was he knows where we go to church.
Did you go to school in the plow? Did you?
She's in high school. I graduated.
You've seen some changes in the school buildings then?
Oh, yes. I went to Hinton around here,
Oh.
4.5 miles east of Drake.
And then where did the high school?
Do you know where Hinton is?
Pardon me?
Do you know where Hinton is?
No, I don't. Where's, east?
The Meanses live out there, then Jim Means.
They made a home out there.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is Snook. Tell me about when you came to McLeod. Tell me about when you came.
We came in 49,
48, Tim wanted a doctor,
Yeah?
so he filled out for a while.
Where did you come from?
Well, I was born and raised in Fort Scott,
Huh?
but I had gone to, and Bob was raised in Topeka. And I lived in Topeka, graduated from Topeka High School. And then he got rheumatic fever in his last service of his internship. So we went to Manhattan, and we were Wildcat fans for a while. We were K-State fans.
Are you still wearing your proud purple?
If KU isn't playing K-State, then I want K-State to win. I still do.
I do too. I'm the same way. I do.
But if they're playing KU, KU's gonna win.
I'm with you.
But, so we came from Manhattan, actually. He was registered in Ohio.
He was welcome in the class.
Well,
Yeah.
He was welcome, they had a big party, and when we came,
Wow, you had a parade when you came to town?
When we came to town, another one he retired.
Oh, boy. There's not too many people who get 2 parades in their lifetime. That's pretty special. Yeah,
I wish you were missing.
I bet. I've heard so many good things. So many good things from all over, people from
I
all
went
over.
to work for him
Oh, really?
at the house.
Yeah, I worked for Kathel for a while.
Oh, you know it.
But,
Yeah, you bring no secrets.
He's part of
But
that.
you don't need to tell those. Yeah, part of the family, that's
Kathy,
happy.
my mother.
Aw.
No, wait a minute.
A big
She's
sister?
my daughter.
Your daughter, there you go, okay.
Kathy's my daughter.
And sir, you're from Ozaki? Are you from Ozaki? No? You're from Ozaki. Oh, you guys are from Ozaki. Boy, you have certainly seen some changes. You've seen a whole new town. Did you live in Ozaki when Ozaki had to be moved? How did you feel about that? We can't hear you. Yeah, tell me about when early Ozaki before the town was moved, because I didn't live here when there was an old Ozaki.
Kentucky and Leavenworth, the Collinsville, Field, Town, State.
I'll be doing it.
Can you hear me?
Put it a little bit closer. And I'll
And
move it back to the front. That should go.
Kentucky at one time was county seat of Jefferson County.
Oh.
One of the stories that some of the Oskaloosa.
Now look at, you're sitting right in front of Mr. Swoyer. And he's on.
The courthouse records were stolen in the middle of the night up from Ozaki out of the courthouse.
Ah.
Before the courthouse was built. Bill Patrick was a good friend of mine. I'm a long member of Bill Patrick. Bill used to say, don't repeat that, it ain't worth telling. Ozaki, of course, is a lot of claim to fame of Ozaki. They set the land sales for the Delaware Indian Reserve in Ozaki. And I think it was in 1853. And it paid for in gold, and the gold was escorted by the military. Fort Leavenworth from Ozaki.
We
And
paid for the town with gold?
it paid for the reserve.
Ah.
They gave the Delaware Indians the reservation, then took it back. Auction, the reservation limits were about a half a mile west of Ozaki, south to the Fall River, and along the same line, east Kansas City. That's why the land sale. And they took an accident with the wagon. The local blacksmith took him all night to get that back together. So the squad of soldiers standing guard over the gold of the wagon. But it was not going to have anything dampen along. I know what happened there.
How big was Ozaki in the early days?
What?
About how many people lived in Ozaki in the early days?
According to the record, it was about 3,500 people there when they had the sale.
Wow.
They camped out, waited. for the opportunity to buy a piece of land that they chose. Then of course, after the sale, after the land was sold, might as well done with remain. My family owned the land between the old town where the canyon area is now, and the new town, the present day. And I always wondered, the farmer that ground out, and why there's many people had fire, because the remains of fire, camping fires, was struck all across that bottom where these people that can't wait for which piece of land to come up and buy. We got all the documents, we found it. I'd like to correct one horrible misconception. Corps of Engineers didn't help us with our town bid.
You're kidding?
Not a dime. The only Corps of the money that the county got. The Corps of Engineers measured the sidewalks, which were 8 acres, and the curb gutters, and the improvements such as that, and raised them $51,000. The money went to the county. Who paid the county for the money? I suppose it began at $50,000, just kept it out. Now we got $50,000 for the curb gutter, sidewalk, and down the road.
How about moving the individuals? If you had to move your own home, or if you had to relocate, would they help any on that? No? They just dislocated you and didn't help you at all?
I don't know how. You know, landowner like this farm. So for so much a year, you sewage. That tree's no doctor better. That's this for engineers. Not a year like much more fair how you did it.
We'll live over in the block.
Yeah. My wife and I have got a little bit of a situation. She's 3/4 miles from where she was born.
I'll be over.
Brother here, John.
You haven't gone far from home, have you? Well, good for you. Why would you have to?
Waited too long to run here in Woodward.
Ah.
Answer any questions.
Anybody have any specific questions about Ozaki or anything to add? Well,
Bill didn't tell you, he's a Kramer and I'm a Kramer. And I would, we're not related that I know about, but I wouldn't claim anything if it was.
you wouldn't?
Besides that, the new town of Ozaki is going to be a total farm.
Oh.
He didn't tell you that either.
No,
I think it's about 240,000.
240 houses today in Ozaki?
Okay, the whole building going on all the time.
Yeah. Now, before Ozaki was moved, you all had a business district, didn't you? That's the odd thing about Ozaki, there's no business there really. There's a few, but there's no real business district. But there were stores.
Two grocery stores.
Post office, yeah.
Big hardware store.
What?
Big hardware store.
Really?
There's always a very
Always a beer joint. Okay, I want
Bank.
a bank?
Bank.
Wow.
There was a butcher shop.
Butcher shop, barber plant, what'd you say, body shop?
Maybe there was
And if you go back
Barber
far
shop?
enough,
What?
far now, you go back far enough,
Yeah?
High school and grade school.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I can remember.
Probably no community has been changed as much as Ozaki.
I remember myself going over to play on that basketball. It was a room not much bigger than this.
Did you play basketball then?
Not much higher.
Whoa.
The newer high school was a good gym. Like,
Yeah.
probably one of the best in the county.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bradley, are you originally from around here? A little bit? Kind of?
Yeah.
Had some connections to it?
Yeah.
So have you always lived up around Winchester?
I came there when I was 14 years old. I came to Winchester 2 years before Snooks came to McLeod.
Oh, did you get a parade?
No,
Aw.
no. During, well, just before the war, World War II, we were living in Lawrence, and most of my parents' family were in Atchison County. So we drove up and down 59 every couple of weeks. Little did I ever know that we'd ever live in Winchester, but coming up 59, past the pea haulers and the CCC camp, and you remember the pea haulers? Stink.
Pea colors?
Pea.
Pea, as in peas.
PEA, yeah.
Pea colors.
They actually raised peas down to the bottoms, and then they would bring them in and they would shuck them or something, and the residue really smelled.
And where was that? Where was?
There were a number of them. There's one just north of Billtown, and then there's one down around Midland. I think there were several.
That's the one I remember, around Midland.
But coming through Oskaloosa, of course, this was a dirt road. You were back another block over there. That was the highway. You made 4 square corners here in Oskaloosa to get through town.
And if you go on that's the old baby, there, yeah.
But we moved to Winchester in '46. My dad had been in a defense plant in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he was a blacksmith and thought that the boys could take care of the farm and he'd do his blacksmithing.
He's the best blacksmith I ever knew.
Well, I met John probably in about 41 or 42.
Wow, before you moved here.
Oh yeah. My dad was a blacksmith in Lawrence, and John and his dad came in there. But I think John was probably responsible for us coming to Winchester there in '46. But as it turned out, the boys were not farmers. Oskaloosa needed a blacksmith, so they moved over here. They actually built a building that is being used for it's kind of a city maintenance building now.
Oh, that little brick building?
It's a rock.
Oh, okay.
It's
The
a
one
second
that's
building,
okay.
yeah. And Dad was here for 2 or 3 years and then went back to Tulsa. And I met a pretty little thing up Winchester, and I stayed. My brother stayed because of basketball, so the family kind of broke up. And so my wife and I started going together when we were 15 and 13.
Oh, nice.
Of course, Johnny Ray was singing Too Young.
Oh, there you were.
Yeah.
Living it out, living your dream.
That was 50 years ago last month.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations.
Well, 50 years ago after we got married when we were 17 and 19. That's still too young.
Yeah, but you held it together.
Just barely.
At times, I'm sure that felt that way.
But in Winchester, when I came there were a couple grocery stores, a hardware store. Of course, the railroad had been gone for a number of years. I think there were 3 restaurants. But then later, the town built, or the county actually built the hospital, so there was additions there in Winchester. I think at that time in the 40s, Winchester was down to about half of what it is now as far as population. So drove back and forth 42 years to Topeka, and almost all of the roads that I traveled, whether I went through Valley Falls, Ozaki, or Perry, almost all of them been changed in that time.
Yeah.
But realistically, the lake probably has been the biggest change for the whole county.
Yeah.
What year was the hospital built?
55, 56 in that period.
What was it?
Well, that really showed some foresight.
And I can add a little something to that story. The day I lost this, it took an hour to get me out of that machine. And Dr. Snook got there. Before we got, he was afraid to give me a job until about the time we got me out, because they needed my cooperation. Harry Harker drove the ambulance. After they got me out, we were at Winchester in 10 minutes. And there was a surgeon there, Ray from Leavenworth, was there that morning doing operation. He was an old army surgeon in North Africa. Oh, he'd seen lots of them.
Yeah.
They fixed me up. The doctor said when I left the operating table, my blood pressure was 80 on one side and 0 on the other.
Whoa.
If I'd had to go to Leavenworth, to Lawrence, and one more thing, they brought out extra more blood than the operation needed before me. Turned out to be my type.
Wow, you were lucky.
You
When was that?
I can add, if that hospital hadn't been there, probably I wouldn't be here either.
Yeah, yeah. When was that? When was your accident? Remember?
Late 70s, early 80s.
No, it's earlier than that. It's in the 60s.
Yeah. 64, 65?
That's about right. That's getting more near it.
Yeah.
To when it was, because I was in legislature. And I mean, that's the first thing. It happened Thanksgiving week. I was in the hospital till just before New Year's. And I was determined to be down there in the middle of January when the legislature met, and I was.
So I went to school with his daughter.
Oh, okay.
And I can remember we were in, I think we were in study hall when the principal came and got her and brought her out. And then after she left, they told us what was going on. So I can remember that.
My daughter was paged for it. 60 or 60s.
You're connected to everybody here, aren't you? One way or the other.
More or less.
Yeah.
When I was in the legislature 24 years, you get to know a lot of people in that
You do,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Luann?
Yes.
We have tea and water.
Yes, anybody want some tea and water, or water?
I can pass some
And or
around.
water? If you all like some, we'll make sure you get some. Get a little dry. Mr. Swoyer, tell us some Oskaloosa stories.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
We moved to Oskaloosa in '28.
Wow.
I was 5 years old. No, thank God, that's fine. Just a little background, both of my parents and all 4 of my grandparents were born and lived their entire lives in Jefferson County. They were all in the county prior to the Civil War.
So they homesteaded here?
No, there was no homestead land in Jefferson County.
Oh, okay.
It was all purchased at the land sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Kramer told you about.
Oh, okay.
All right. Those were around in 53, 54, 54, 55. The land sales lasted quite a while. But I grew up on the streets of Oskaloosa. All the time I was growing up, the sign at the edge of town said population 832 people. And Oskaloosa was quite a little trade center. We had hardware stores, we had 2 lumber yards, 2 drug stores, 8 little grocery stores, 8 grocery stores.
Good heavens.
Yeah, the variety store, dry goods stores, we had furniture store, we had doctors, we had a complete community. And there were several automobile dealerships, farm machinery dealerships. These are all gone today. And I can remember when they built the building where Sam Harvey's hardware store is. That was built for a Ford dealership. And that's when they introduced the Model A. And I can remember the big banner that tied across the street from the building across. It said, introducing the Biggie Lincoln.
Oh.
There was the Model A, they referred to it as the Baby Lincoln. And, that was Albert Kemp. Yeah. And he sold so many Fords, he went bankrupt. Yeah. Anyway, we had at least 8 little grocery stores.
Did they specialize at all? Did you go one for one thing?
Oh, they all delivered groceries. They all had schoolboys on bicycles. You'd call your grocery order in, and they would come up to your house.
Oh, I was thinking that.
And then of course there were 5 or 6 or 7 people in town who purchased eggs. All the grocery stores purchased eggs. And there were cream stations all around the square. And people would come to town on Saturday and they would sell their cream and sell their eggs and buy some chicken feed, some cow feed, some groceries and go back home. And that's the way Oskaloosa operated.
Was Saturday morning just like busy?
Saturday was just real busy.
Everybody coming
And they still had hitching racks where they could tie their teams up when they come in with the teams. And the last of the hitching racks was along the east side of where the present post office is. There was a hitching rack across there. And then there was a rack east of the square along the north side of the block where the variety store is. And they would bring their teams down and all.
Spend most of the day.
Spend most of the day, yes.
Nothing else, just watching everybody else
Just
walk
like
around.
everybody else, but there was business in town. There was lots of commerce.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I went to school here. I started in 29 and finished in 41. In those days, the high school and
Microphone got more frank.
in those days, the high school and grade school were all in the same building.
Kind of like today.
Yeah, but it was just one building.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had 2 major churches in town. We had the Presbyterians and the Methodists. These other churches have come in late years. But we did have an AME church
I'll be honored.
for the African Methodist Episcopal. And they operated until a few years ago. And so they ran out of population. And then I would just do remember them having a covered back. They had the CBs. But it was down where the Hannah apartments are.
Oh,
There was a church, a black church there.
so there were quite a few black people.
There were, I think at least 150 or maybe more out of the 800 population we had in this community.
Did you all integrate pretty well?
Sure, we'll school together. Sure.
It was never very well thought out.
It was very well thought.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
When I ran for office, Dick Swoyer told me I'd rather have George Jones for me than any other man in the county.
Well, George Jones was a politician.
And he was for me.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
No fighting now, no fighting.
Now his son Charlie would like to have been. Charlie always kept something going. He was, I miss him. Yes, there was a fellow, Sash Cooper, and Sash lived just north of Snook on 59 Highway in a log cabin. And Sash walked to town every morning, and he'd walk home on about noon, and we lived on the highway, and we would run out and greet Sash, because he would always say to us kids, how are you packing? What's happening? How are you packing? How are you? And he finally was burning off a strawberry patch and got on fire and that killed the poor old fellow.
Now, I remember one time you telling me about Old 59 Highway had been, the foundation of it had been hand quarried.
That's right. It was hand sledged. No, South 24 was built the next year. And they were built in the very early 20s. And
And
they
the whole
were,
stretch was hand
Yes,
sledged?
yes.
Wow.
that's a hand sledged base. And hauled rubber rock in, like the kind of rock that you would use in rock business and so forth. Yeah. But,
And who were the workers?
they were contractors.
Okay. What about local people?
No. No, during the Depression days, the streets here in town were all dirt. And we had a fellow named Newt Snellgrove who had a team of mules, and he graded the streets with his hardtails. And then during the WPA days, well, they hand quarried rock and hauled the rock up and piled it in windrows down the streets. Then they had a portable crusher. They pulled that crusher down the streets, and the PWA workers threw the rocks in the crusher, and they left a little windrow of crushed rock down the street. And then Newt would take his team and his grader, and he'd grade the rock out across the street. So we've come a long ways in our streets.
Yeah, they're a little better today.
Yeah, a little better today, yeah.
But they're not as good, yeah.
We just a little better.
Yeah. Anyway,
Where did the rock come from?
they have two little quarries. One west of where the fire department is today, and one east of King's Construction Company, down the draw there. They have a little quarry, and they hand quarried it.
That's some work.
Yes. They dug them out by hand and loaded them on truck by hand, and one of the people who worked, had a truck in those days, to haul those rocks was no other than our Ham.
Oh, really? They've
Yes.
been doing that for a long time?
Our Ham was a young man, and he was looking for something to do, so he worked, he hauled rock. Pardon?
That's where your rock fence is.
That's where your rock fences went, that's correct.
To the road?
Yeah, a lot of it is. Yeah, I remember Ham was hauling his rock, and he balanced his bed on his truck so that by releasing a big spring, he could dump his load without throwing him off by hand. So he was always just a point ahead of the push.
You bet.
Yeah.
Little automation.
Yeah, a little automation.
Yeah.
But, there were, Saturdays was a busy day in Oskaloosa.
I bet it was in your other communities too. Was Saturdays, were they big days in McLeod? Everybody come to town, and Grantville, I'm assuming too, drew a line of our farmers in.
Then you'd have Wednesday nights with the free movies.
Every Saturday night.
Saturday night, wow. And Wednesday nights in Winchester?
We never had free movies in Oskaloosa, we had a theater.
I was thinking there.
And so you had to pay for it to go to that. Cost a dime to go to the,
You had to pay to be on there.
yeah.
A dime to go to.
Yes.
You got the newsreels too before?
Oh, yeah, the comics, all that.
Was the theater then, the
Right.
Old Theater
Yes.
that you were into? Well, that's
Run by a man named Bill Payne.
Bill Payne?
He was the local representative of Kansas Power and Light.
Oh, that was smart.
He had an office next door.
Except he was in it, but they bought him up.
Yes,
Making Kansas.
that's right. Yeah, he was in the power business.
I remember in McLeod, there's the old one-lung engine, bump, 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 bump. Something happened, the engine quit, and the whole time went dark.
Ozaki had a 32-volt system. Louis Peterbaugh had a 32-volt power plant, and he furnished power for Ozaki. And I can remember being over there when the lights would blink, and about that time I'd be at my uncle's, and about that time the telephone would ring, and it was Louis Peterbaugh, and he'd say, "Roy, come start my engine for me." So he'd go start the engine, and that power did. A little 32-volt system.
Wow.
Versus 110. Well,
Any questions of any, Betty, did you have something? correct or in?
Yeah, Lawrence here.
Yeah. Can you reach that okay?
Before you get into that, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you a story about Jim.
Okay. Uh-oh.
He's quite a storyteller, and he's just a little bit older than I am. I don't know whether you even told Martha Ann about this.
What's he talking about?
Tell us.
What am I talking about? He came out to see my sister. And he get in the house and get talking to my dad. And they'd never go out anywhere. Finally go home, and I think she went to bed.
Didn't make a big impression.
I'm not sure whether it happened maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't know. But you know his wife, Martha Ann.
You betcha.
You know who she is?
Yeah, a little bit. Or do you have a surprise or something for them? Along those lines? I mean,
About her uncle.
yeah.
Oh, her uncle. He was president of the United
You
States.
betcha, Curtis Truman. Darn right, right?
Okay, I'm Lord Lyons. I came to this part of the country in 1929, and I can remember quite a few of the things that happened. Jim was talking about 59 Highway. At one time, out there at about his house, he made a block jog to the west, and went through town and then back east. And the reason they did that was because the local merchants was afraid the town would die if they put it straight through. So they had a job. This year, they had left an old dirt road there, so nobody would drive on it. I can remember when the old Northwestern Highway depot was out on the road to Leavenworth. I've seen the boxcar sitting on the track and the old depot was sitting there. And I think there was 2 railroads west of town, one north. Okay, one north, one west of town, and one north of town. We came up here in 1929 when the Depression started about that time, and the drought started the next several years.
Where'd you come from?
Douglas County.
Douglas County.
Yeah, down south Florida. And if you want to have fun, you want to live in a depression and a recession at the same time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was
I
tough.
know, I went through it.
Yeah.
And the dust storms.
Yeah, the dust storms. Oh, yeah. After I got out of high school, I taught school for 3 years. And one day I was teaching down at Pivot, which building is sitting up here. And about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the big dust cloud rolled in from the west and southwest. And the parents came to school to get their kids because it was getting so dark. And it was kind of scary. When it came from the west, the cloud was black. If it came from the south, it was red. Coming out of Oklahoma.
Oh, different
Red dirt.
Oh.
So,
It just looked like a rain cloud. It
Yeah.
looked white.
Did you have trouble breathing? We didn't, it had to affect
You
you.
could see it coming.
Did you run from it?
Tell me about it. I was 21 in 1932. Tried to go to college, had a girl I wanted to marry. Finally did in 1936. That's a long way.
yeah, it was coming. And I can remember some of the escapades we used to do. When I was in high school, we used to go out to the old water tower and climb that water tower at night. Some of them go up the ladder, I went up one of the corners.
Oh my gosh.
Which, I don't know why, I was really foolish.
So you wouldn't do that Yeah,
walk around and,
okay.
tell us, you surely went to the White House.
Did you go to the White, I turned this up for everybody else. Did you go to the White House, Roseanne? Did you visit? Did you really? What are your memories of visiting the White House?
When we were married, we had been married 50 years ago today.
Oh, that's right, you did celebrate your 50th wedding anniversary. Congratulations. Can you stand up, Sharon?
Sure, Mom.
Here, sit right here.
So in December, Uncle Harry invited us to come up to the White House. And so we spent 2 or 3 days in the White House. They had just moved back in most of his term as president. He was in the Blair House because they were remodeling the White House. And they had gotten it remodeled. And we spent 3 days in the Lincoln bedroom.
Oh, my goodness.
And we didn't pay for it. But it was real nice. Of course, they were expecting us, and when we drove into the front gate of the White House, they took our car, and we didn't see it until we got ready to leave. We had a chauffeured limousine to take us to the points of interest. And it was real interesting visit.
I bet. So how old were you then? You were in your 20s?
I was 33 when we got married, so I'm 83 today.
Well, congratulations. By golly. That's neat.
Jim always did look young, and we met at law school, and when I took him home the first time, my father's remark was, "What are you doing, robbing the cradle?" So,
He was about as frank as Harry then.
Yeah, he was as frank as Harry.
yes, he was. And it's been a nice 50 years in Oskaloosa.
Well, good. That's great. What are some of your memories of Harry, of your Uncle Harry? Do you remember any particular reminiscence of him?
Well, no, he was just my uncle.
He was just your uncle.
And on Saturdays, I would, of course, he was what we would call a county commissioner now, but they call him judges there. And he was county judge when I was just a kid. And on Saturdays, I would go with my dad in the village and see him there in the courthouse. And it was just my uncle.
Yeah. It's probably a bigger deal to us than to you. Well, sir, I'm curious. I want you to tell me about your memories from Ozaki. Have you always lived in Ozaki?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. You said you still lived on the home place or something, right?
Yeah. About a mile after them.
Tell me, what is an early memory that you recall, that you can remember?
Well, the main thing I can remember is playing ball.
What, a softball?
No,
Baseball.
Every Sunday afternoon.
Right, yeah.
Actually, the ball field was just below him, right near the big cottonwood.
Yeah, it's on my place
Yep.
there.
Oskaloosa used to beat them every time.
He said Oskaloosa used to be every time.
I'll tell you the truth, I don't know that ever beat it. I'll say one thing, we had some pretty good players, so did scoring.
What position did you play?
Catching most of the time. Never got hit but once.
Lee Raker. I was there.
It wasn't but the only thing that made me matter the worst was drop the ball.
So everybody in the county would come play ball in Ozaki? That's the thing?
No,
They
there
travel
were
around?
10 or 15 teams.
Yeah.
Dunham had a team, Mooney Creek had a team, Rock Creek.
Yeah.
And everybody had a field? You'd
Yeah.
Go around, but Sunday afternoon league kind of thing?
Yeah.
Call them town teams.
Oh, town teams, okay.
Yeah. That's where I got acquainted with most of the people I knew in the county.
no lights. I mean, he had to play in the sun. I mean, that's the only way to play baseball.
Yeah.
In those days, the country wasn't all organized up, you know, with professional teams and all that. And, we had very good competition.
Yeah.
And that, they had a pitcher you called Cyclone Thompson.
Did Aaron Lindsay play with you?
What?
Aaron Lindsay?
Aaron Lindsay, did he play with him?
I remember him
Was
telling
it
me.
from Winchester?
No, he was over here, right east of Grantville, about 6 miles.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You know, he always talked about his baseball, and he was a pitcher, I think.
What else do you remember about those early days?
Oh, that's about all I remember.
You were just a ball
Getting
player.
in arguments.
Getting in arguments.
Yeah, the baseball game.
Oh.
That was yeah.
You still have your Kansas City Royals t-shirt on. You must still follow baseball, do you?
Oh, yeah. I finally decided about no use going watch them play. They're just a little bit better than we were when we were playing.
Probably a lot less entertaining, too.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first school?
Oh, went to Pleasant Hill. That's about all. I can't remember now. I know that Adelaide Newell was a teacher, I know.
You did. The rest of you have a teacher you still remember pretty well?
I sure do.
Yeah? Who's your teacher that you remember?
Granny Slate.
Granny Slater?
Slade.
Slade. She's not the one that last year you called a witch, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember her too from your story. Only you didn't use the W, the word.
I can get closer to us than that again. My first grade picture was Nell Nancy Helper.
Oh, right. They lived in the Nancy Helper house.
I've never had any trouble since being able to spell Nancy Helper.
Yeah, you see it quite a bit. Dean, do you remember your teacher? A teacher for?
Her
I
dad,
remember my teacher, couldn't forget her.
Yeah?
I didn't say who she was
Who
yet.
was it?
I went the whole time I went to grade school, one grade school, the same teacher. All the
It'd be
time.
hard to forget her if you had her that many years.
She was one of the best in the county too.
That's great. What school was that?
Hebron,
Ebert?
Hebron,
Ebert.
H-E-B-R-O-N.
Oh, Ebert. And where was that? Where was
It
it?
isn't.
It isn't. Where was it though?
It was 6 miles straight north of the line.
Oh, okay. And what your teacher's name was?
May Lynn.
May Lynn?
She was May Green when she first started teaching down there.
And she got married?
Yeah,
That's
she was
rare.
rooming down with the Lynn family down on the old Sophia place. And their house burned down. And they, I don't know, they moved out to some other building, but they hung a curtain around there, and that was her room back there.
I'll be
And that's
honest.
how she got acquainted with her husband.
I'll
So,
be honest. Huh.
Curtain open once.
What?
Curtain open once.
Certain open ones, yeah, they met. That's the story.
I can verify Ray Lynn was a wonderful teacher. She wasn't my teacher, but I knew her when she
Yes.
was older.
She was one of the greatest.
And she taught most of her time here? I mean, she
She's
stayed
taught around
the
here.
different schools.
I think she wound up in Rochester, schooled up
I'll be
Topeka.
honest. Yeah, and the Stevens.
all over life. And I went to their 50th wedding anniversary.
Wow, that's neat.
You know what I took for?
What?
I found a apple, it must have been that big around, one of the biggest things I could find, you know, shiny, there wasn't a flaw in that. I took it up to my teacher.
You gonna make me cry. That's sweet, Dean. That's
So
just
if
really.
you want stories, I can tell stories. I'm as bad as old Jim over there.
I'd like some.
Come back some other day and say a week if you want to.
Okay. I'll take you up on that. You do better than say that.
I can tell you one more about Nell Nancy Helper. When I was in the legislature, she was back teaching in this county and was the president of the County Teachers Association. She had me come to speak to her. When she introduced me, my own mother couldn't have been any prouder of me than she was.
Oh, that's neat. suggestions or?
No, there are some people who may
Yeah.
not have spoken.
Who has not had an opportunity to share with us today? Everybody has to say something. Yeah.
Anybody over
Keens?
Yes.
Keen?
T-A-N.
Dean.
It was 7 miles south and a mile east. Oskaloosa.
My mother went
Oh, okay. What was her name?
to Lenora White.
Nora White? Lenora White.
They lived just north of, well, I don't know exactly where when she went to school, but one of them was north of Billtown, on 59,
Okay.
about a half mile off 59. She always called it the gas house.
The gas house?
Gas.
Gas house. Oh,
And it was, they rented the place, I don't think they ever owned any property.
oh, they were.
They lived several places around there. She's now 95.
Wow.
You go down 59, 7 miles, and go east to the point where you'd have to turn south. You go south about a mile, and that's where the beach school out front.
I would guess
a
it's a
picture
picture next door.
like class.
What'd you say?
I would guess it's a picture
Oh,
next
he said
door.
there might be a picture next door of it too, but he said he also had one. Any other questions that people might have of each other or some of these people, or who else would like to, you all came in kind of late, would you have something you'd like to, we're making everybody talk. Pardon me?
It says Leavenworth County on it.
Oh, well,
You know, I never thought of myself as an old settler, but I came to Jefferson County in 1930.
yeah, well, you've been here a while.
Before that,
Don't blame you.
I was 4 years old. Before that, I lived over in Leavenworth County, just a half a mile.
That's close enough, you could spit almost to Jefferson, you know.
I-
Here from Seattle, Washington,
You came here from Seattle, Washington,
1930.
in 1930? You came from here?
And we were the last people who were allowed to get off the train, Union Pacific, the crack train.
The crack train?
They called it
Oh.
crack.
Oh, my.
It's supposed to be.
That word has obviously changed meanings a lot.
That was supposed to be very hot. And it was beautiful. And the conductor helped mother down off the train, and my dad was sitting there.
She wanted to get off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this time.
Oh, this time.
After 4 or 5 months of not seeing my father, she was,
Pretty anxious to get
you
off.
know,
Yeah.
but he, colored man, just as jolly and happy, said to me, "Now, Missy, just a minute, and I'll help Mama down." He came back and picked me up in his arms and took me down and handed me my father, who was standing there in 6 inches of snow, and my little white poodle that only weighed 3 pounds was inside of his leather coat. He was beaming from ear to ear. We went home to the new home, and there were no rock roads. It was all mud. I never will forget. Oh,
Tell me about it.
cold.
You probably heard a lot about that in the legislature too, didn't you?
I was born on Mud Road.
Yeah.
I was born in Jefferson County in 1911. Johnny come late there.
Oh, yeah, they're all new folks to you, aren't they? Yeah, you all seem to know each other. A lot of you seem to know each other. Yes, Martha.
I think something should be said about the Saturday night dances that were always at Legion Hall on Saturday night.
Saturday night dances at the Legion Hall.
And Jack Dick played saxophone and kept time and his daughter played piano. And they were well attended and they didn't have to have all these records and
Yeah, yeah. No DJs then. He had live music. You said you used to go every Saturday night? Well, so how long did those, how many years did those dances go on?
Long
Long time. You remember going to them as a kid? And then as an adult? Did you keep going as an adult? You went what?
In the 50s when I,
In the 50s? And you all in the 50s? And you went to?
Played some more.
Oh, what?
Jack Dick.
Jack Dick? Did you say? Oh, you remember there, you remember going, right?
Before Geraldine was big enough to play the piano, Johnny Rice played for him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Zelda play the piano?
Johnny Rice played. Then after Jack Dick, it was Imogene Zimmerman from the Springdale. She took it over and played for years.
So people from all over would come to the dances?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal, yeah. Every Saturday night? That was date night then? Yeah. Or probably too, you probably all just kind of went in groups and danced with each other. Wow.
What building?
Legion Hall, the old American
What
Legion.
is City Hall?
Where's City Hall?
How big were
It
Did
wasn't
you
all
go
out
walking?
in town either.
What?
They weren't all in town halls and dances.
You'd have some out in the country? Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Range
All
halls?
they said that the cows, you cleaned up the barn.
Ah, oh, barn dances.
I used to go to sleep, listen to that music on the hay bale, and wake up on bed the next morning.
Wow.
Never knew how I got there.
Huh.
We go to people's houses and roll up the rugs and fiddle would come out and banjo, whatever, and they would do that
Oh, that sounds
for their
fun.
music and fun.
Yeah, it's better than what we do today, instead of home alone watch TV.
And the children don't even know what fun we had.
There you go. There you go. We need to be telling, you need to be telling them.
Try to.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any other comments? If y'all had to sum up your life in Jefferson County with one sentence, what would it be? Great?
The best.
The best?
Best.
The best? Mr.
Makes
Cal,
me worry a little bit,
you worried about the future?
50 years, I don't want to be here.
You don't want, you enjoy Jefferson County? You don't want to be here for the future to see what's going to happen down the road?
But I bet it must happen, it will be.
Uh,
Have you been back to Seattle lately?
No, I
I
can't.
was up there last spring. I would live up there if they gave me the whole damn place. We got some here, a whole lot.
Oh, well,
Oh, Seattle, okay.
my father and mother came from Calcutta, India in 1923 and
Wow.
then Seattle, and then they came to Kansas.
Of course,
Jefferson
it's about
State.
everything in the world.
Not a lot.
Mr. Bauer?
You're talking about what it was, it reminds me of something, there used to be a column in the Kathel, there might even been Kansas City Star, we took one or the other. Abe Martin said, and the one I remember is, he says, never forget, with all the modern improvements, the road to hell is shortened 2/3.
Oh, that's encouraging.
But if you compare what Kansas was when I grew up, I had a high school diploma before anybody ever offered me a drink of booze. Some will try to tell you that prohibition didn't make any difference. You take it now, what our young people are kind of deceived, they're fake before they're really competent to make it. Well, now everything hangs out now.
Yeah.
So I see some of these young girls on the street, well, there's more anatomy visible than I ever saw in a woman until after I was married.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't quite thought of it like that, but that's true.
And it's on TV now, too.
Yeah, it's in your home.
No wonder some of these kids are like they are.
Yeah.
You got a chance.
Well, if you summed up your time here in one sentence, what would it be? Good ball?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Been okay for you here?
Yeah.
You guys stick around?
Right.
Good for you. Mr. Swoyer, sum up the life here in Jefferson County in one sentence?
Been very gracious.
Gracious, okay. Sir, how about you? How about you?
I just see a guy sitting up here that went to school to be one of my teachers.
Oh, yeah? He was a student?
Real high.
You taught with him?
No, no, once,
You were a student?
yeah.
Were you a good student?
Yeah, he took us, had ice cream that winter. We ice skated 2 months there. Ice cream on, I think, about 28th of December. Stayed on the last of February. We were ice skating to school. Back behind the school up in Kimberly, there, went down the hill to the girls and calling, bring the bell, tell us to come in, teacher no.
Gotta make me tell it again.
Yeah, tell it again, we didn't hear you. We were having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, come down to the mic, Mr. Hollingsworth.
I can't reach you.
I said, we had a big ice storm, the sleet storm came on 28th of December, and it stayed on till the, last of February.
There you go, okay.
And he took us ice skating at noon hours, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the girls would ring the bell, tell us to come in. Remember that? Time would be, we get up at Kimber behind the school at noon and ice skate down over the hill. Yeah. I went to school out one night, we went hunting there one time, that way then.
He don't remember.
What year was that?
Huh?
What year was that?
35, 6, yeah, ice skate.
Do you remember a teacher there by the name of Mason Brunton at Tibbet?
Sure. A teacher?
Yes. He taught the school year of 37, 38. And then went to Williamstown.
No. I used, see, I got out of
Who taught that before I did?
Any of you remember the orphan train? The orphan train? Anybody
who it was.
remember that?
The man isn't here to benefit from this. But most of these people around here know Herb Edmonds over my father. And that makes me feel old when I remember that I was his 7th grade teacher.
You were Herb Edmonds' 7th grade teacher?
I was his 7th grade teacher.
You were his teacher?
I'm white head, and then my gray hair yet.
We've known some people.
So we burned the schoolhouse down before
On the orphan train.
Oh, okay.
before the year was over. There was another old schoolhouse. Got rid of him.
The insurance man here. What was the insurance man's name that was on the orphan train? Yeah.
Of course, I was only 17 years old.
Yeah.
I think schools have changed so drastically in the last 50 years. When I came to Jefferson County, the one-room schoolhouses were still open, but they were closed then. And now with all consolidation and so forth.
We didn't call for
I think schools have been a radical change.
Schools may be one of the biggest road schools.
Jefferson County, that 100 school districts.
100?
Exactly.
At home.
My goodness.
And talk
How
and
did
talk
you
and
get to
talk.
school? Did
By walk.
anybody ride horses?
They were all within 2 miles, 3 miles.
You were the best school teacher that I ever had.
Some of you were talking that you were afraid of the future, but yet you look at that and use your library as an example of the community's
I got
future.
credit for consolidating the schools. I was chairman of the committee that put it through and we all hated it. Half of the high schools in Kansas have fewer than 50 pupils. And you can't afford to give a decent high school education to 50 pupils.
Got too
And
expensive.
it had to be done, and it almost got me defeated.
Yeah, it was not a popular thing, that's for
I
sure.
survived by less than 100 votes.
I'm
See
excited
Alberta
about the
Gardner.
future.
Yeah, I think there is some excitement around the future around here.
But there's so many new things coming about, health-wise, about things.
Oh, yeah, I see a lot.
Yeah.
But, I can remember the ambulance service here, it was the undertaker, that was the only ambulance service we had.
I'll be darned. That just didn't give you a lot of confidence when they showed up, did it?
I see a lot.
That's the ambulance I
I see
was
what
in
you said
that
there,
day.
usually up here.
Well, any
dance, Lawrence.
Now's the time.
I don't know about the
Yes,
fuels,
honey.
but some of you people know Ralph Petty's over here.
Hey,
He doesn't live
could you
there
guys
anymore, he lives in Winchester.
wait, catch up together? Maybe we'll call it. I'm sorry, go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
Ralph Petty's over at McLeod. You ever run into him?
No.
Yeah.
He lives up in Winchester now. And then development right west of the hospital. But his father and my grandmother and the whole rest of that Petty's clan came from Germany back in the 1800s. I'm talking about his father. He had about 8 kids. Ralph was a baby at that time, and all the Petty's out in here was my grandmother's family.
So your family goes back to like the early 1800s in this area? That-
Yeah. They stopped in Iowa a little while, and then they came on down here. And the mother and the family died up in Iowa. And the old man came down here and settled over. Oh, some of them were up toward the north, maybe even in Aston County, but they came down in Leavenworth County there. And the old man lived over just about a little over a mile out of Jefferson County and Leavenworth County.
I have something interesting.
All right.
My grandparents on my father's side came here in 1855, settled in Jefferson County. At that time, I think it was Shawnee County. My mother's family, my grandparents on that side, came to Topeka in 1855. So they, both sides of the family came
Yeah.
here.
Before Kansas was a state?
Before it was a state, yes.
To Kansas territory.
Yes.
How many, who's been here the most generations?
September.
How many generations, I think, can you trace your family back to this area?
Silly questions like that.
In Jefferson County?
Yeah, generally, I mean, 1 mile away, we'll include that, but yeah, Jefferson County.
Now, the Kramers came from Germany. It's my understanding, and my sons are working on this thing, along with some other people. But it was my understanding there was 5 Kramer brothers that came over from Germany. And 2 of them settled up in the Mooney Creek neighborhood, 1 down in Grantville, and 1 out in St. Mary's. I lost myself right here. And I still don't think old Bill's any relation.
Yeah.
My grandchildren are on one lineage of our family, are 8th generation Jefferson County.
Wow. Wow.
That's on the Messer line.
Uh-huh. Well, that's incredible.
Yeah.
You all been around.
The original the family came in about 56. Came in from Illinois.
Ah.
But when he came, he brought his family with him. He had several grown sons, married sons, and grandchildren when he came in 55 or 56. So come on down. My grandchildren are 8th generation on that side. Now on the Swoyer side, they are 6th generation.
Oh boy, they have some lineage to live up to, don't they? Yeah, that's incredible. How long, let's see, you came from Springdale.
1903.
1903, wow. You were born in 1903? You're 99 years old?
I'm 98.
You're 98? Oh my God, you seem so young.
I've enjoyed every bit of it. I wouldn't have come today if it hadn't been for my granddaughter.
Well, way to go, Teresa.
It's so hard.
Yes, it is.
And she insisted that I'd come.
I'm glad she did.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it all.
Well, my gosh,
I can go back and tell a lot of stories, but it would be too long.
I'll catch up with you maybe another time.
My granddaughter, she writes them down. This
That's
is my
good.
daughter. And when she comes up to talk to me, if I tell some of the stories, go back to the first cars and all
Yeah.
of that, you know.
Hey, I would like to encourage each and every one of you to get people in your family to record your stories. Get a tape recorder, sit them down, or you yourself sit down with a tape recorder, because we're going to lose that history.
Notes of it all
Good,
the time, so.
good. Well, everybody needs to do that. I'm glad
Yes,
you're
they
doing
do.
it. And
I
everybody
know
needs to.
I've regretted that I didn't take it from
Yeah.
back when.
And Mrs. Snook, get your stories down about
When I want to know something, I go to her.
There you go. I'm going to start coming to her too if I
I
can.
don't know much, but I enjoy it.
Well, you sure do seem awfully young. You are very young, 98.
Each year tells on me, and I don't remember like I used to.
Well,
I don't either.
yeah, I don't either.
I don't even know. And I've lived too long.
Oh, I don't think so. You look like you're pretty well together.
Well, my body, you know, you get a little more, it just deteriorates.
If I knew my knees were going to be so important to me, I would have taken much better care of them. Yeah.
It's amazing what's still there, though, if you get the right signal to
There you go.
contact it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put in my grandfather's or great-grandfather. So they were living at around Dayton, Ohio. He was a Duggar preacher. And he started out intending to go into western Illinois and buy a place. He met a man on the train that had a farm in Jefferson County, what was then Oskaloosa Township. And he bought that farm without having seen it on the train in 1864. And they live, that's a mile east to where I am, just in Jefferson County, northeast of McLeod. And it was too wild out there. Grandma didn't like it. There were no churches or anything. They did go back, and then later, about 1880, Grandpa came back, settled in McLeod. It's a pretty good story, too.
You bet.
He bought it without ever seeing it.
Wow. That's, yeah. I guess there were a lot of wives and mothers that were not too pleased moving out here in the early days. It was probably pretty rough. I don't know, I would have liked it.
When we moved to McLeod, there wasn't related to anybody there. And after my daughters grew up, we got related to all the old families.
Your husband probably delivered a bunch of babies, didn't he? Yeah, yeah. Both your babies that he delivered? Oh, that's great. Delivered you? And you? Wow, several generations he delivered probably.
The wife is December. The girls married into, so.
So, well, that puts you, yeah, you're now related to everybody. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. I really, really appreciate y'all coming out tonight, or this afternoon. And I would say, we still have some water and tea, I think. And if you want to just stay here and chat, why, that'd be fantastic among yourselves, catch up some. Any other questions or anything else that we haven't caught yet?
Before you quit,
Yeah.
I want to thank Luann for coming.
Oh, my pleasure.
For directing this and helping us out.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure to be here. This is always fun. And some of you I want to catch up with.
You've been a good host.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you all have been very kind, and I feel like there's probably a lot more stories here that we didn't get to, and I hope I didn't shut anybody down when you are on a roll.
We'll hope to read about it.
Oh, a test, huh? But please keep telling your stories. It's really, really important, each and every one of you. We need your stories. With email and telephones and all of that now, we're going to lose personal history because we don't write letters. And how many of you keep emails? I don't. So get somebody in your family or somebody you know to start recording your stories because we need it. They're our history. We don't want to forget that. So thank you all very, very much. And please hang out for a while, I guess, right? Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, guys.